I feel in the face of all the problems in the world impotent, and why I somehow cannot manage to transform I. Now here we get to the real problem, because we're always telling each other that we should be different. Now I'm not going to tell you that tonight. Why not? Because I know you can't. Nor can I. That may sound depressing, but I'll tell you it isn't. It's very hard. But everybody, you see, who is at all sensitive and awake to their own problems and human problems is trying to change himself. We know we can't change the world unless we change ourselves. So when we are aware of the ego I, we are aware of this chronic tension inside ourselves. And that's not us. It's a futile tension. So when we get the illusion, the image of ourselves, married to a futile tension, you've got an illusion married to a futility. And then you wonder why I can't do anything.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to today's video. Bitcoin broke its major support, so let's talk about what that means, okay? Let's start top down, shall we? Let's start with the daily. We've had this significant parabola, and I'm just going to use Bollinger Band Meow Mix because 3D Wave or ACAT has a major update released today, and I haven't taken the time to make it do what I want. So, standard bands for me today. Anyway, we had the Comfy Cozy 3.2 standard deviation tag here on the daily, which is fine. I tried shorting that and I closed it way too soon, if I'm being honest, which is disappointing, but alas, I still saw significant profit from the initial drawdown. So, daily is fine. There's a lot of choppy readings, a lot of implied overexpansion, and those 3D Wave PM readings are going to catch up with the parabola very quickly. And I'm going to not use the logarithmic chart because I really want to exaggerate just how significant this trend has been. So let's take a look at the 4-hour chart. And we're going to take a look at our longest overexpanded period, which in this instance is currently 225. So we're going to pop in that 225 value, right? Because 225 is our defining pivot for trend. So, if we break inside that 225 period, that would mean trend is over. So, let's take a look at what it looks like. Okay. So, high price volatility at a key pivot. That was quite some interesting trading last night. I initially tried to take a long on the mean. We had the initial dip. I did initially sell off. I waited for the bounce before I exited my long. And a good thing I did. I wasn't able to swap it to a short because I was actually waiting for the bearish confirmation. But, you know, they don't always pop in time. So, it was a pretty simple signal. If we entered this band, it means we go down to this mean. So currently 9,200 is our target. Of course, that target is going to get higher. But it's officially alt season, right? If Bitcoin's trend is over, that means alts have time to flourish, which means it's time for me to start calling some altcoins, at the very least. Yeah, we're finally getting some reversions and reversals on a lot of these coins. Oh goodness, how did I miss this? CDT was completely compressed at the beginning of an uptrend and even had a CCI roll up. Oh god, that was predictable. I missed it though because I wasn't looking. Anyway, I'm gonna call some altcoins today because goodness gracious, this is a nice chart. Okay, so looking at the 225, yep. Which means let's actually define our relative roll downs, or rather, what we would like to look for actual entry into trend. Let's do 22. Okay. Yeah. So our actual entry signal is because this initial drawdown was so significant. We technically already have downward expansion on our 1/10 period. So quite honestly, this could just go straight to the mean. And let's be honest, you know, I went to sleep and the mean inversion condition is already halfway complete with a 10% drawdown. Like, it does not leave much room for development, to say the least. So, yeah, we're officially in that retracement period, It is important to note that price will trade laterally as defined by the longest overexpanded period. Okay? Which means, is because price has entered this band, it will not leave this band until its relative wave PM reading reads below the 0.9 value. And, well, interestingly enough, we can just use the 200 here as a reference, right? Price will trade inside that band I showed you as long as this purple line is above this value, okay? And just so you have some reference for the last time this happened, right? The amount of time this took to compress was 20 days. So it's looking like we're going to have over 3 weeks of just lateral trading and compression, okay? The thing is that lateral trading and compression, well, all we know is the range, right? We don't have a good handle on the bounce pivots quite yet. Sure, occasionally you bounce directly on the mean, but once the mean inversion condition is active, once the compression is active, price could do this, where it just stays up in the top half and the mean travels up to meet price. That's totally fine. Or price can travel all the way down to the mean and then bounce all the way back up to the top and all the way to the bottom and up to the mean again. We don't know, right? All we know is that it won't leave this band. That's all we have going for us. That's it. That's the only predictive power we have on Bitcoin right now, at least on the 4-hour chart. I'm happy to say on the 1-hour chart, well, we do have some pretty strong signals here. We have comprehensive net expansion on the 1-hour chart, which implies downward trend, which is, you know, good for all you shorters, right? Because all our CCI periods are weighted to the same side, and all of our wave PM periods are expanding in the same direction, and all of our just everything is expanding to the downside. This is a bearish trend. We have activated a bearish trend. A reversal would be improbable at this time. All right, because this short compressionary period here restored potential energy to the market, which is represented by this blue divot, if you will. And then the resumed expansion to the downside, well, that's downward trend. So, we have significant weighting. You know, if you want to take quad CCI 14 period roll down, yeah, that'll work quite well, actually. You know, trend trading has been the new groove, so to speak. And just even with, you know, yesterday's trade idea. Let's point this out. Right, okay. Oh, I can't actually open it in a new tab. Well, that's fine. I can just copy the values. Right, we had our bearish break, and we have a downward trend. And we're going to stay in that downward trend, or at least compression, for quite some time. So, with that in mind, alt season. It's alt season. Well, we just FOMO into as many coins as we can. Preferably on leverage, because, you know, if Bitcoin is having 8% drawdowns in a single day, then your 5% draw up, you know, on the altcoin you're trading is not gonna, you know, be good to your USD value. All right, so you really want to be careful protecting your USD value trading these coins. It's a really important distinction, okay? I do believe this is the final reaccumulation period before the final markup on Bitcoin's bull run. So instead of trying to short Bitcoin, what I'm saying is buy the dip. All right, buying the dip is going to save your ass. Okay. However, you should only buy the dip when you get the relevant signal. Okay. We're just going to use quad CCI. Simple as that. All right. We just want to see a 14 period CCI roll up to gain entry into trend, and well, once that triggers, then it's free selling. You know. Compression, lateral trading, compression. That's what we're going to expect. It's going to happen at least until 3 or 4 months. Okay? So once that compression period is done, if we get any kind of significant markup on Bitcoin's price, that's good. That's what will drive this whole scenario home for us. Okay? That's it. That's all I wanted to say. I'm going to flip through some of these altcoins because I'm interested. Oh, God, look at that mean reversion condition. Holy hell. Oh. We're going to get some crazy mean reversions, guys. There's going to be a lot of bullishness in the altcoin market. Yeah, this longest overexpanded period is just miles away right now, though. So, yeah, this is a complicated scenario where, because Bitcoin is technically in a state of compression, you expect consolidation on the altcoins. However, just from a strict technical analysis standpoint, you would want to bet on trend continuation until the mean reversion conditions have activated. And because our mean reversion conditions seem to be so far away, the result is us being in a kind of laggy scenario. At least initially. I mean, you just got to find the right altcoin that's volatility has caught up accurately. So, I swear to God, like, these news articles that pop up on Bitcoin are just so dense. Okay, let's scroll with me here. Analyst, violent drop coming for Bitcoin. Okay. All right. What percentile drawdown have we had? Not percentile. What percentage drawdown? We've had a 25% drawdown. It lost a quarter of its goddamn price before the news article starts saying, oh, yeah, price might go down now, guys. Well, I guarantee you, 5 days ago, all the news articles were predicting the new paradigm. Okay? Bitcoin trading is at $76,000 on local Bitcoins in Zimbabwe. Well, that's not a sentence I thought I'd ever read. It's embarrassing. You know, okay, I also have to point out something really important for you guys. Typically when you get these initial reversals, when you generate this much mass, Typically, there's a volatility pop at the upside with a full retracement, lateral compression, and then the resumption of a trend. All right, it's not typical for us just to immediately switch directions. So, I'll be honest, I know it might be your initial reaction to find the coin that performed the worst and then just buy it and expect it to return to a state of quote-unquote normalcy. But really, you want to find a coin that was already doing pretty well. A coin that's drawdown wasn't that significant and didn't generate that much mass. Because that means the smaller the downward trend, like this downward trend is huge, okay? Which means, well, yes, the compression it needs to complete will be sizable. It's going to need far more time to compress than, say, a coin that has already been at least in a neutral position. All right, when you generate a lot of downward mass, it means that your compressionary period that follows is going to be rather, well, tight, to say the least. So even though we might get bullish mean reversion conditions here, you want to find a coin that is at least broken even. That's how I would put it. Like, I don't know anything about this coin here, but yeah, we've had pretty consistent support for quite some time. And if Bitcoin is going to be bearish, or at least compressionary, this is actually a really good breakout. I'm going to admit that. I'd like to try to play this. Yes, I'll keep an eye on it. I'm going to check out Nano. Nano's in an aggressive downtrend still, so same scenario applies on that front. Maybe TRX will be better. Who knows? Like, you know, even if you wanted to draw a trend line or a channel on this, you know, it's really difficult to bet against price here. Right, and typically, you know, when you see an upward breakout of these channels, there's the initial breakout, but then you get the retracement, retest at the local low. Then the compressionary market bottom, and then it will choose on a direction. Right, going long right now on coins that have been active in downtrends, I can't recommend it. Like, let me point out the previous downtrend. Okay, cool. Wow, how enlightening. So when you get these huge significant downtrends, well, you do get the initial volatility pop to the upside. Alright, it typically retraces, touches the bottom, and then defines a nice range. Right? So all that compression happens, and then it can finally decide on direction afterwards. Okay? So sure, you can buy now, just expect a 10% drawdown, right? It is quite appealing, though. Buying TRX at these levels, I have to admit, it is appealing to buy into this coin at this level. This is one of the few times where I actually consider a static support to be viable. It's just so aesthetic. You know, I don't really mind TRX, but so many people have a negative bias against TRX simply because this was probably the coin they lost the most money on the fastest. I bought into TRX at 50 sats here, or 40 sats, excuse me, and I sold it at 50 sats here. And then I FOMO'd back in, like, here. And that volatility was insane, and I actually like ended up only making like 20% despite, you know, buying in for a 3,000% move. So if you want to buy into TRX long term, like I'm talking long term, this is one of the coins where I actually am okay with the fundamentals, believe it or not. But you know, expecting it to go right up right now, like if you were to buy a BitMEX contract that expires in, I think it's like September 15th or 17th is the expiration date for the contracts right now. Right, I don't think you'd make money before it expired. And that's an important distinction. XRP, on the other hand, well, that's XRP does what the hell it wants. XRP, you know, coin behavior is super important. XRP is one of the coins where when it gets a downtrend, its reversals just happen immediately. Like I'm not telling you how much XRP I have, but I'm totally okay just buying in these local bottoms, or what appear to be local bottoms. You know, you might retrace down another X%, but my liquidation price is at $300. So, what are the chances that this reverses before mid-September? Who knows? But here's the thing, guys. Even if your contract expires when you're not in profit, you can actually just open up the position at higher leverage, right? So it'll automatically close your position, and you'll lose money. But you can open the position in the same size. So while your realized drawdown is, well, realized and tangible, it doesn't mean you have to decrease your position size. You can just reopen it. Your liquidation price will be higher because your total value of portfolio has gone down, so you don't have as much margin to back up the position. You probably should not do this. I'm sorry. What am I saying? I'm being super aggressive because I think XRP is eventually going to reverse, and it is going to do so drastically. You probably should not take XRP on leverage. If you just want to buy XRP and wait for the next local high, do so. Another one coin you can do that in is Doge. Right? Let's be honest. Who doesn't want to buy Doge? Look at this bad boy. Look how many cycles this chart has. Oh my god. Peaks and valleys, my boys. You go just put all your money in Doge and try to triple it and see what happens, okay? Alright, that's it. I'm done. I want to go all in Doge, though. Really. Just triple all my money. That'd be fun. Yeah, Doge is not really that much of a shitcoin. Like, it has no fundamentals, and that's fine. But it has an active community, and that's better than most coins with good fundamentals. I'm just going to show you the weekly chart real quick. I mean, come on. You're going to tell me that this is the cycle where Doge finally dies? At minimum, you have a 200% upside. Like, seems worth it to me. That's the kind of risk that I'm personally willing to take. Right? Buy low, sell high. Yeah, we could just use this static value as a sell order to, you know, be safe. Might take a couple weeks, but hey. $24 sats, that's already 20%, 27%. That's appealing. Okay, let's check out what you guys want me to actually look at. This is a bad song. I'm just gonna skip this. Okay, gold. Do gold. Say USD. Looks like we're seeing our initial retracement. I'm long-term bullish on gold, like really bullish. Super bullish. Retesting previous highs is viable. Well, let's be honest. Why would you buy gold when you can buy Bitcoin? Comprehensive net expansion to the upside. Like, I can't argue with that. We're seeing the initial retrace, though. I don't know how to define the mean inversion pivot at this time, because it's still developing. So, our retracement value is kind of far away, so deeper dip is possible. I'll say that much. These short-term distributions need to blow off some steam before a trend can really continue. You asked me to look at hot. I can't really look at hot, I'll be honest. You know, it's the pip value is too low. I want to look at a different chart. Oh, holo. Seriously, dude, you should just do Doge. I mean, you have if you're gonna buy a cyclical coin like this, a low pip, or low tick length, let's put it like that, coin, choose the one with the longest history and most vibrant cycles. I'm bullish on Doge, my boys. Alright. I'm done. I'm gonna be done with it today. I'm gonna go to the mountains because hiking is nice. Okay? Really? Hey man, it works for me. Is that a saxophone I hear? My god. Alright, this stream is over. I'm done. See you folks.